And it's the past journey to present progression. Yeah. And it's the past.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Cleasy B, the Past Journey, Present Progression Podcast. We back for another episode, man. Today, we got a special guest in the house, a Seattle legend. I'm just gonna say a legend, period. But Seattle legend for sure. DJ D-Doxx is in the building. You know what I'm saying?
What's up,
My guy.
What's up, baby?
Thank you for coming to the platform, bro.
Man, it's nothing. Anytime.
Like I said, man, you a legend, brother.
Appreciate it.
And you have blessed the platform, so shit, I just feel like, man, I'm onto something.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, man, I gotta look at my notes for this one. Like I said, he got a lot going on, and so I gotta look at my notes for this one, man. He does clubs, events, game nights, 420 events, basketball events, block parties, pop-up shops. These are just to name a few, man. You know, he's working out here, man. I'm pretty sure you go to his page, you're going to see a lot of his work. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of go to his page, make sure you guys subscribe, like, share, comment, all that. If you haven't done it yet, do it right now. Subscribe, like, share, comment, download, whatever you got to do. Please help me out. Help me get these subscribers up. Do that to his page as well. You know what I'm saying? We on the come up out here. Well, I know I'm on the come up for sure. You know what I'm saying? My guy right here, he's a legend. So I'm pretty sure he feel like he still got a lot to go too, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We still working out here. You know what I'm saying? Just to he has a promotion company. You know, he's a father. You know, and the purpose of the podcast is like, we bringing these entrepreneurs around here. You know, and that's what he is for sure. So I'm glad he came through here. You know, so man, what's been going on though, bro? What's been going on now? It's a lot going on in the world today, man. Like what's been on your mind about this stuff, man?
Man, I'm just keeping it grounded, you know what I'm saying? Trying to keep the young ones, you know what I'm saying, heads lifted and, you know what I'm saying, through all the problems that we're going through in the world, you know, trying to raise a family, you know, and that's pretty much, staying grounded. That's pretty much it, man, you know.
Yeah, that's all we can do, bro, because if we get distracted by the distractions, I feel like whoever, whatever that's against us, we're just helping that out.
You just gotta keep them up on game, man. You gotta keep them up on game.
Yeah, for sure, man. DJ D-Doxx, man. Man, tell the people where you from, man.
Man, I'm originally from Columbia, South Carolina.
Columbia, South Carolina.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How long you been up here in Seattle?
I would say, man, over 25 years now.
Oh, wow. What brought you up this way?
Family.
Family?
Yeah.
That's kind of like my situation, too. I've been up here probably around the same amount of time as you. I'm from Mississippi.
Okay.
And so family brought me up here, too, And I feel like that was a good decision for my family to come up here, Now that I look at the outcome of, like, where I'm at now in my trajectory,
Yeah.
I feel like that was a good decision, man,
It was. My uncle had, me and my moms and my baby brother, you know what I'm saying, they were back home, and I just told my mom, you know what I'm saying, I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go see what Washington's all about, and like the Beverly Hillbillies, we got on the road, you know what I'm saying, follow my aunt and uncle back up here, and I've been here ever since,
So in your household, did you have mom and pops?
Man, this is my mom's, saying, strong woman, God rest her soul. She raised me, to be a strong man, and then with that, looking after my baby brother and, the rest of the siblings, and that was it,
Okay. How many other siblings you got besides your baby
man,
brother?
We got a couple of them, man. You
Okay,
know what I'm saying?
okay.
My baby brother Jay, you know what I'm saying? Young Clef, you know what I'm saying? This is like, that was the baby, you know what I'm saying? And he's that's my, that's my go-to right there.
That's what's up, man. What like what'd your mom do? Like,
My mom, man, to be real with you, man, my mom was one of the dopest hairstylists ever. So, you know what I'm saying? Coming out of from down there, down south, my family, my grandmother and my uncles and aunts and everything. My grandmother owned a beauty salon, and my uncles, both of my uncles worked in there. And my aunties, they had their salons and everything. And I was brought up as a young entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying, at a young age. And unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, of being around all that, I learned a lot about running businesses and everything. My father, owned a barbershop also. So I was been around, here in cosmetology and working and running businesses and being, in the build, working for yourself. My whole family basically really works for themselves, you know what I'm saying? Uncle Toy Service, other uncles, they had landscaping and asphalt businesses and everything else like that. So it's like my whole life of growing up in the South, I was always around my family working for themselves.
So the entrepreneur, that's just like damn near your DNA.
Yeah, I was started off at 9 years old, man. I had a shoe shine stand. I used to, we had a spot in Columbia called Cromer's that you can go buy peanuts and different snacks and different things like that and candies and stuff. So between my grandmother's barbershop and my beauty salon and my father's barbershop, I would go in my father's barbershop and shine shoes and sweep the floors and everything in my pop's barbershop. And then at my grandmother's beauty salon, I would learn how to stack the snack machines, run the cash registers, sign the checks for the towels, and I ran the whole operation. So learning that, when I got up here, it was very easy for me to be an entrepreneur myself.
Man, that's interesting. Mine was kind of different because I'm like a country boy.
Was. Yeah, I had that too.
Every time I walked outside, I heard damn near every animal in nature. I felt like, So when I came up here, it was just like a total culture shock for me because it was totally different,
Yeah, down south, you gonna eat some deer, you gonna eat a little bit of everything, and
you really ain't got, like when you're younger, you ain't really got a choice. So it's certain things to this day that I don't eat no more because I told myself back then, I'm eating this because I have to. So when I got my own choice, I'll never eat it. So I don't eat certain things now.
Eating Bugs Bunny wasn't a good thing for me. Have a Bambi on the plate with some barbecue sauce with it. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
But if you at home and you hungry, you gonna eat.
You gotta eat it, bro. You ain't finna go without. That's when survival mode kick in.
Yeah.
You said you got siblings. Like, what's some differences between you and your siblings? Like,
man, I got sisters and brothers, but man, me and my little brother, man, we the one who grew up, with each other. My little brother, man, he was still is, you know what I'm saying? He was when you were like the only kid growing up in the house with your moms, you know what I'm saying? And then, due to other situations and whatnot, but then when you get a chance to have a younger sibling that, you're able to, try to show, somewhat what you think is the right thing to do, but, but still, that's a little rough, you know what I mean? That's my heart, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, now he's a grown man, now we're 17 years apart, so it's like, he out here doing this thing, he got, 2 boys and everything else, and to watch him grow up, and now he's a father and doing his thing, man, it's just, it's beautiful, you know what I'm saying? And then, I got older sisters, so it's just,
shout out little bro too.
Your little bro, you know what I'm saying? Your club, you know what I mean?
To all the siblings, shout out little bro.
Sis, you know what I'm saying? All the sisters, man. But I'm the spoiled baby out of the whole bunch, though.
No word?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like the, grandmama, that's grandmama, you know what I'm saying? So it's,
You're that precious gem. Oh,
I
man. And I asked the questions about your family and stuff like that because I'm just trying to get a better idea, like, how did you get into DJing? You know what I'm saying?
Man, that goes deeper into the family. It came about with my two cousins, and really they're more than cousins. They were like my brothers.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because we grew up. You know what I'm saying? My uncle, I would always go to his house, you know, as much as I could because, you know, my cousin Robbie and Cedric and Nikki and Brandy, we was that, you know, those cousins that, you know, you got them cousins that they just like your brothers and sisters and everything. So that was mine.
Yeah.
And my cousins, they had their rap group. You know what I'm saying? That was my cousin Rob, you know, Scratch Master Rob, or you know what I'm saying? He was the Jazzy Jeff.
Okay.
And the Jam Master J for me.
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin Sid was the LL Cool J.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they had a rap group, and then they also had their own record label. But also in hip hop, my who I looked up to was Jam Master J and Jazzy Jeff as DJs. You know what I'm saying? So, but watching my big cuz, you know what I'm saying? He was. That's where I heard the first Transform. You know, transforming on the turntables.
Oh, when
So,
they do the thing like
yeah,
that.
he was doing the Transformer. So you know what I'm saying? I was just watching my cousin and everything. I said, man, you know. But that was back in that era, where you know you really had good hip hop. You know, that's when music was great. I'm 3 years old. I'm 3 years younger. Hip hop started in 1973. I'm a '76 baby.
So you kind of like, well, I'm pretty sure you can't remember, or you maybe do, but the actual inception of hip hop, like
all that. Yeah, I was the young kid running around the neighborhood with the boombox and the cutout and the cardboard and go out to the basketball court. And you know what I'm saying, while everybody trying to play basketball, I'm out there trying to get my b-boy on.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So that was me. You know, the whole New Edition thing, and one of my favorite groups, New Edition, or anything that had to do with music. You know, Run DMC, LL Cool J, the Fat Boys, Public Enemy.
yeah.
It was all of that. You know what I'm saying? And then to get a chance to meet some of those artists when they would come to Columbia. So when you heard over the radio that it was Al Heyman production coming to Columbia, South Carolina, the Carolina Coliseum, you knew that, you know, you was going to see a concert. It wasn't like nowadays you get these little one headliners and a whole bunch of, you know, no-name people, you know what I'm saying, opening or whatever. But you got to see LL come out the radio when he came out with Radio, the first album. You saw Rocksteady Crew, you saw the Fat Boys, you saw Public Enemy, you saw just a whole, just really all the hip hop in one big show, one night, and you just up there at a So you know what I'm saying? So it's like that for me. My mom kept me around that. Every time New Edition would come to Columbia, I was forcing D's. I was able to be around Luther Vandross. I was able to be around the Isley Brothers, Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. All those. My mom, you know, had me around those people. You know, I got to be on the tour buses and come around, get autographs. Bobby Brown giving my mom seats at the concert. You know what I'm saying? And be around Rob Bass and all them. So I got a chance to be around hip hop and R&B all my life.
Wow, that's good, bro. You were exposed, very exposed at a young age, bro. So I can just imagine your perception of hip hop and just music, period. You don't look at it like the average person at it, or feel for it like the average person do. And you kind of segue into my next question too, though. Like as far as your passion for it go, like, I mean, I know you're passionate for it, but did you have the same amount of passion for it like when you first started, or did you gain a little bit more passion for it as you progressed in doing it or being a part of it?
Man, just to go back a little bit, before I came to Washington, I was in a group with me and my cousin, you know, Rob. And And shout out to my man Paul Sampson. You know, he passed away. You know what I'm saying? But we were in a group, and we was weeks away to going to the Apollo before I just uprooted and left and came to Washington.
Okay.
So we had our little singing and dance group and everything, and I was, on my way to go to. Could have been the big time. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I decided to come to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
But through the whole progression of hip hop or doing hip hop or being in hip hop, I still got the hunger for it from when it started to now.
Wow.
That, you know what I'm saying, that I've been able to work with legends. You know, I've had
what's a couple of legends you had a chance to work with?
man, when I worked with record label, independent record label out here, Knock on Wood Records.
Oh, I remember Knock on Wood.
I was able to work with Daddy-O from Stetson Sonic.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? So with that, Daddy-O coming from the era of being involved with all the hip hop, you know what I'm saying, taught me a lot, taught me how to train my ear, taught me how to listen to music. You know, even though you can listen, but you know what I'm saying, when he was telling me how to listen to music and hear where that sample came from that the artist was using in the record, to go back and find that old record or to find, you know that song that you're saying it was teaching me. You know what I'm
the
saying?
actual sonics of it, the actual
All of it.
sonics of music.
Then I got blessed in another way of more knowledge of hip hop from one of the founding forefathers of hip hop was Grandmaster Caz.
Right.
When they closed down Larry's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shout out Larry.
Yeah, that was the spot. We opened up a new club right across from the catwalk, was called Mantra.
Mantra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the night of opening that up, I had brought Grandmaster Caz out here. Well, you know what I'm saying? And he I think Caz stayed out here with us a couple of days. But he gave us the blessings and the knowledge and he gave it all. He taught. Excuse me. But he became family real closely because he's my youngest baby's godfather.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying, Caz, to be able to get on the phone and be able to talk to Daddy-O, to be able to talk to Caz, be able to talk to many of the pioneers of hip hop, Shot Rock, Busy B, we had Busy B up here, you know what I'm saying? Talk, going to Magic in Vegas, going to be around Theodore and Melly Mel and all them, you know what I'm saying, Kool Herc and all that. And then I became the representative of their clothing line called Centric Casita, which Centric Casita is the park in the Bronx where hip hop originated.
Oh, I heard it was in the Bronx, but I've never heard the actual part.
Yeah, so where Kool Herc, you say where Kool Herc used to spin records in the park, that was Centric Casita. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying, that was the whole, the Ave, you know what I mean? So it's like Centric Casita, their clothing line, I was able to represent the clothing line out here in the Northwest, and I was able to be a representative of putting it on other legends in the town like Funk Daddy. Let me see, I pretty much think I tried to bless everybody, all the DJs. Let me see, Funk Daddy, Rockefeller, Top Spin, DV1, DJ Razor, Uncle Guy, Cutfather, rest in peace, Cutfather. The list goes on and on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when I got to Washington, those were ones I looked up to. When I got to Washington, the only thing I heard was Con Love. You know what I'm saying? Funk Daddy. You know what I'm saying? Oz Rock. From Oz Rock now to Rockefeller. You know what I'm saying? So, and then getting into the game, be able to work alongside, you know what I'm saying, these DJs and learn from them and everything else like that. It was just a continuance of going along of, This thing I call I love hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Man, that's some rich history right there. That's rich history. And like I said, man, I know you from working. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember a time when you ain't been working. So, man, you know, you definitely deserve your flowers, man.
I appreciate
you've
it.
been around, you know. What do you get? What do you get the most satisfaction out of DJing? What do you get satisfaction out of DJing? If I'm asking that question right.
Music is a healing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing that I get from it is maybe to make people have a good time. Be able to play timeless classic hits and regardless of old or new, and be able to make the people just feel good. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's just something when you're behind two turntables or a controller, whatever you rocking, and your selection of music, and you look up while you rocking, and that person's looking at you like,
Yes, sir.
or they, you know what I'm saying, or when you get on the mic, you like, just throw your hands in the air and waving like you, people just, excuse me. But it's just that feeling, you know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it's like, you know, you've been in the club and I've seen you get your, get your thing on.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
And not to cut you off, but what I appreciate about your skill, you're able to tap into all generations. You know what I'm saying?
and that's what I love about it.
And they can all be meshed up in one spot. And you know, the selections you're talking about, you know, you got to know your selections. You know how to select the right music to tap into every generation in the building. I've seen it done, you know, so I know that, and that's one of the things I appreciate about you being you DJing, you know.
Man, I appreciate it.
Sure, because, man, there's a couple DJs around here, you know. I ain't going to say no names, you know. But, you know, it is what it is. Need I say more? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
You know, they don't do what you do, though. That's the point I'm
Well, I
trying to
mean,
make.
but you know, the thing about hip hop always is each one teach one.
It's supposed to be.
And when I'm rocking with, you know, to this day, you know what I'm saying, Uncle God gives me knowledge all the time.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I was DJing yesterday at an event, and, you know, God came down and dropped some knowledge on me right then and there while I'm working. It's the thing about it is you have to either be an open book to receive that knowledge, because when you close your ears and you close your mind or whatever, you know what I'm saying, you're never going to get that knowledge that can help you. You know what I'm saying? Some people think because they made it, they already know it all. And I always go back to my references of what I need to know, where I need to know. If I need to know something about hip hop or know the truth about hip hop, I immediately get on the phone with Daddy O or Kaz or Busy B or, you know what I'm saying, somebody that I know that knows.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just like going to the library, you know what I mean? You got to study.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's, for me, you know, I've never stopped educating myself to music and hip hop because that's what I love. So, I mean, you know, when I'm out, when I'm talking with other folks or I'm talking with the young folks, you know, they can say, hey, D-Doxx, man, I appreciate you, and you know what I'm saying, I'm glad you dropped that knowledge on me because I didn't know.
Yeah.
But somebody taught me, so, you know what I'm saying, I got to pass it on.
That's good. That's rich of you to have that perspective, because a lot of OGs, man, and not even just music industry, just a lot of industries, bro. A lot of OGs, they don't want to pass down the knowledge. They want to, you know, stay in their position. You know, they don't want to move out the way, for lack of a better term. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you gotta teach one, man. That's where I feel like that's where your blessing's gonna come from too. You know?
Right. And if you don't, you know, how are the young ones are going to progress in life if you don't teach them something? They're going to school to learn, but how they gonna learn other things?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was always a street cat who taught you the street things that not to do. There was always someone who was in the education that taught you the right things about education.
Right.
It's an educator in everything that's going on in life. And it's up to you to either listen and pay attention to it or listen because you're going to come back. Somebody is telling you that for a reason.
Right.
So you were like, man, I remember. Old school told me about that a long time ago. Man, I should have listened.
Yep.
Now I know not to make that mistake
too late.
again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Bro, it's crazy out here, bro. You know, you have to be open-minded and be willing to listen. You know, you have to. That's how you're gonna progress, man. You know, and like you said, the OGs or whoever in positions of power, you know, you gotta be willing to teach the correct way, also. You know.
Yeah.
You know, everybody learn different. You know, some people you have to be a little bit more patient with. You know, it's just like
Some of them you gotta let, you know, after you told them, you gotta let them go bump their head.
some prefer to do that.
And then they learn after that. So, yeah.
What is the biggest goal or one of the biggest accomplishments that you want to get out of your career, what you do, DJing?
I've reached that plateau in many ways, in many times. It just for me now, you know what I'm saying, as I look back on a lot of the pioneers on the DJs that came up DJing, they still DJing. You know what I'm saying? The Red Alerts, the Kid Capris, you know what I'm saying, you know. And I don't think you can get old, you know what I'm saying, doing what you love, especially when you're good at it.
They try to say that for us in hip hop and our genre.
Nah, man, I still see some 60 and 70-year-olds out here popping.
Yeah.
Still out here, you know.
You look like you got some moves.
Yeah, man, you know, and that's the thing that, you know, that makes it feel good about it. You know what I mean? It's just so much about hip hop, man. And not just hip hop, just music. Jazz, blues, rock, country. You know what I'm saying? It all got hip hop in it.
There's one word I heard you use often, like since we've been doing this. I heard you use the word "feel" a lot in regards to this hip hop. You know, that stands out to me because that explains your passion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That indicates your passion for it. You know, and I noticed that you said it a few times. I'm like, man, he's really passionate about this hip hop.
Man, I mean,
it's music, should I say?
I love it. Yeah, I don't, you know, just like I said, you know, and that's for me, you know what I'm saying, just like, you know, my mom's is gone, but that, you know, that's, my mama kept me around, that's how I stayed, you know, real tight. My mom's kept me around it, you know what I'm saying? It's so many times that I've been riding with my moms and, you know, man, and the Curtis Mayfield on, or the Maze feature Frankie Beverly, or the Shirley Murdoch, or the Luther Vandross, or just so many times with timeless classics and hits. Anita Baker, you know what I'm saying, and
Freddie Jackson.
Yeah, man, all that, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, and just you know, my mom's took me to my first gig up here. You know what I'm saying? My mom's, you know, was around me while I was chasing after this love of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Well, so this is one thing that, you know, music period, you know what I'm saying, is the one thing how I remember, and it's not how I remember, but you know, that my mom blessed me with this and put it in my hands. So, you know, I cherish this a lot. So I love music because my mom right now I can see her riding and in my face with her hand doing this right here, just messing with me. You know what I'm saying? Doing just all kind of crazy stuff, man. My mom, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for my mother. You know, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for my cousins. My family put me, my uncles used to sing, you know what I'm saying? It's like my family's just musically, you know, they kept music around in the beauty salon, you know, music going on all day long, all night long.
Right.
So if it wasn't for that, man, ain't no telling what I'd be doing. So my family and hip hop saved my life in many, many ways.
Wow. And I'm glad you acknowledged the family side of it, you know, because I be hearing a lot of artists, you know, they'll just say music saved my life.
Nah.
You know, you can't forget about the supporters who was on the back end, in the back scene, in the back scene supporting you too.
Me and my cousins still do music to this day.
That's dope.
We still doing music. We still trying to. It's not the passion of trying to make it to the top. It's just the love of it.
Just being dope, just doing.
You know what I'm saying? Even like I said, even referencing to my man Rockefeller, I was on Instagram watching him the other night, earlier this week, last week, and he was in the studio with Max Love, and I was sitting up there just watching. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that, you know, Rock, his dad is, you know, what's the group? Lakeside. His pops is in Lakeside.
I'm not even aware of that.
Yeah, man. And to watch, to DJ with Rock and work with Rock and then see where his musical talents and everything came from. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't really get hip and doped into West Coast music until I was DJing with Rockefeller.
Yeah, because he got that West Coast flavor, boy.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't get put on to the reggae and other classic music until I was DJing with Cutfather.
I see what you're doing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Neo soul and R&B until you know what I'm saying, I was around Top Spin. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? My man Razor, my man Mo, you know, Uncle Guy. You know what I'm saying? The learnings and the teachings of, if you want to be a DJ versus being at home in the studio, or being at home in your room scratching, yeah, that's cool. But a lot of people don't want to hear all that scratching. So you can be at home scratching, or you can be out in the clubs blending and being a party rocker. And that's what I love blending.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you say I'm not doing all this. You know, scratching is a part of hip hop, it's a part of DJing and everything, but I love to blend. And when you can blend those hits and those timeless classics and everything together, it's beautiful.
And that's dope, because you know your lane, you know. And I'm pretty sure, like you said, you can do all the other stuff. You feel me? But you know your lane, and that's why you stay
Stay in
winning.
your lane.
You know? That's why you stay winning, you know. As far as doing events, like what do you like doing most? Parties, block parties, weddings. What do you like doing most, and why?
Man, I like rocking when they just let me do my job. Just let me do my job. Don't just, I'm not a request type of DJ. You know, I don't.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just not. I'm not a jukebox. I'm not a radio station. I'm a DJ that, you know, when you see me on the spot or see me rocking, that I come to do my job. Let me do my job. You know, I notice they don't call the radio station request songs, so don't get to the club or to the party and get to bother me requesting songs, because I'm gonna do my. You know what I'm saying? Let me do my job, and you'll be satisfied.
I learned that from you one time. I think when I was first meeting you, I requested a song, and you know, they never came on. I didn't take it personal. I just said, oh, yeah, that's that type of DJ. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew it, like you said, it's DJs that's like that. Let me do my job. You brought me here for a reason. Let me do my job.
Well, I mean, you know, that's the thing that, you know what I'm saying, and in a way I had to get better with that. I had to understand and take from a perspective that, you know, say I am in the public and I do sometimes have to, you know, take requests. You know what I'm saying? But I look at it as when you go to a concert, you're not about to jump on the stage and ask that artist that you want that you paid a ticket for and say, man, you know, can you sing my song right now?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so it's like, you know, when you go to a fight, you're not gonna jump in the ring with Tyson and like, man, when you gonna hit him with that uppercut?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, you came to enjoy you know what I'm saying, watch them do their thing. So when I feel that, and that's coming from the generation that I come from, you know what I'm saying? I would never, you know, I've been on the stage with Jazzy Jeff. I've passed Jam Master Jay his records while he's DJ. I've been around my idols. But not one time, Kid Capri, all of them, not one time that I watched anybody come up and bother them while they're working and doing their job for a request. And so I've always took that and stride in my, you know what I'm saying, in my repertoire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you go see Rockefeller, when you go see Top Spin, when you go see Funk Daddy, when you go see Uncle God, when you go see Cutfather, when you go see all the DJs in the town, and they have their own specialties or the reason why people go to enjoy to see them spin, I have mine too. Respect my lane. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I got to the business part of it, I'm like, you want to interrupt my set, then pay for that interruption.
How does that go?
You don't give me what I asked for. Nah, you know what I'm saying? No, I have made people. I was cold. I'm rocking. You wanna interrupt my set for me to play something that I know is gonna clear my dance floor? You're gonna pay me for that. So
that's crazy.
I've charged somebody $100 for me to play a request, and I knew, and I told the promoter when he brought the person to me that they want to hear. I said, for me to interrupt my set and I got the dance floor packed, I need $100.
I didn't even think about that like that until you just said it. I'm just thinking about like, okay, yeah, somebody want to hear a song, okay. But when you said the dynamic of, well, shit, if it's not the song, it's gonna clear the whole damn dance floor.
And it happened. It cleared the whole dance floor, and I told him, folded it up, put it in my pocket. Thank you.
I see why there's somebody gotta pay for that. You know, because I gotta wear that at the end.
It's a certain thing about when you hire a DJ or you hire someone that is a professional in their field, that you let them do their thing. Now, critique them after they get done and say, I felt that, you didn't do, some things that I think that you should have did. Well, that's when you talk to me at the beginning and let me know how you want to have your night ran. How do you want it to be? If you don't want a whole bunch of crunk, you don't want a whole bunch of West Coast, or you don't want a whole bunch of East Coast or whatnot, or you want to stay in this lane, let me know that. But when I'm doing my job that you paid me to do, don't interrupt me.
I respect that, man. And any respectable businessman or woman should respect that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Question, you know how rappers, now more comedians have been, but you know how there be like little beefs. Mm-hmm. Do there be like DJ beefs? And if so, what type of things cause those beefs?
I've had one or two beefs or whatnot. One that went public, and and after a while, after doing it, you know what I'm saying, neither one of us, really, you know what I'm saying, it was, apologies here and there or whatever, or, you know what I'm saying, I felt that, I got the better hand of the beef or whatever, but, because, violence was about to, take place into it, and that's not really what it was all about. It shouldn't have been about, there's always, beefs are set up now or made happen for publicity wise. But really in DJing, there's really not no beefs except for, you know, cats want to undercut or underbid you when you trying to get a gig, and like you charging this much, and they want to say I'll come in and do it for $50 and some drink tickets, you know what I'm saying, and there there'll be some some hating. They'll talk to a promoter or somebody, you know what I'm saying, and they'll hate on you or whatever to get the gig or whatever, or they trying to get into this new club or this. But really, in DJing, it's really not no beefs. You know what I'm saying? I look at it as, can you out rock? Can you outdo me? You know, and if you beat me, you beat me. If you don't, you don't. But in my lane, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna hype up the crowd. You're not gonna MC. You're not gonna rock better than me. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna do that because you know what I'm saying. I know where I can go at any time within music to make the crowd go wild, and you're trying to do it just literally off of trying to embed, but you can't do that because I'm used to music as my weapon.
So you're moving this more with a strategy, you know what I'm saying? So, like you said, you can go to wherever in music and get the part, get the crowd popping,
and get it popping.
Yeah.
Old school, new school, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's and it's been a couple of like with a certain clubs they do the old school. I'm the old school dude or whatever versus the new school, and new school trying to play something. You know what I'm saying? That's the new latest hit, and I'll come in with some Tevin Campbell. Can we talk and have the whole crowd singing? You know what I'm saying? Tevin Campbell. And it's like or they'll come to one of their new little cuts. You know what I'm saying? And I play it all. Right. Then I'll come out, I hit them with some new edition, if it is in love or something like that, you know what I'm saying, and everything, the songs that make the women sing. That's what I'm saying, and they don't understand. That's the way you win. You whatever's gonna make the women sing, those are the songs you use. You know what I'm saying? You want to use that Keisha Cole Love, because why? All the women they gonna sing that whole chorus line. You know what I'm saying? So. It's healthy competition if it's done right, but if it's gonna be within some fighting and some shooting and some violence, it's not healthy and it's not good. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can use it to a fake beef to get a club night, a nice event going. You know what I'm saying? Just like in boxing, or UFC, or anything else. Mm-hmm. But if it's about to turn out to be, say somebody getting hurt or whatever over something stupid, then you know what I'm saying, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? We trying to make it out the streets, or make it out of our what we've not been able to accomplish so far. We're trying to make it out of the bad situations. Not make it to the good situations, just to go back to the bad situations. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to grow. We try, yeah. I mean, that's we are, but the thing about it is, what needs to happen is we need to, instead of running away from it, we need to come together more. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We can't just come together when something happens. Right. We got to come together all the time. Yeah, that's right. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we want to rally now and we want to march because something happened. But why we ain't marching and rallying when ain't nothing happening? Right. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? And then after we done rallied and marched for a certain period of time, now we tired and we done. Because we feel because they said I'm sorry or whatnot, that it should be done. No, we have a whole lot of laws and things that are going on that are not fair to us as people, to us as men, and we know what they are, but we won't come together and fight together because we're so busy fighting against each other. Mm-hmm. It's better for us to fight together, but you know, saying that they know that when we start coming together and rallying and get together too much, somebody got to pay the too much power. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain ways how you have to strategically move and make things happen. And unfortunately, we trying, but we not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some only want to do it just because they running for a political seat or something, and now I'm out here in the community. You know what I'm saying? They're not out here in the community all the time. You know what I mean? Regardless if the cameras is rolling or not. You know what I'm saying? So it's, some people have their, agendas, and some people's really real with it, and some people just, and I ain't gonna point no fingers out, you know what I'm saying, because we do too much pointing the finger as it is, when you point your finger, one finger, how many fingers is pointed back at you?
Right.
So if you do more than pointing and more action, then you ain't got no fingers pointing. You know what you know.
That's a cold breakdown.
So
that's a cold breakdown right there. Talk to me about, or tell the people about Stop Playing Promotions. Tell me about that. Where that come from?
Stop Playing came from, I launched it back in 2005. And that was when the whole ordeal with the Larry's thing happened. And that's when we opened up, Mantra. And that's, when to go back and had the blessings and the homages from Grandmaster Cass to come out and, and show love and show that hip hop is more than just violence. I named it Stop Playing because I got tired of people playing with me.
Right.
When you're driving and you see that stop sign, you got to do what?
Stop your ass, slow your ass down and stop.
You know what I'm saying? So, when I wanted it, so I, stop playing. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get what I want, and you know what I'm saying? And that's what the motivation really was behind it, and I had a great support team, you know what I'm saying, of a lot of Seattle heads and Seattle lights that really backed that movement when I started it. Other DJs, just people that had love, you know what I'm saying, for me, and seeing the movement that I was doing, because I was on some, putting people on. Stop Playing started out with like almost over 30 people. 30 people? Yeah.
When you first started?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, that's a nice amount to be starting with.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and shout out to, I'm bad with names, but they know who they are. You know what I mean?
Shout out to everybody.
You know what I'm saying? My man Sleepy, Money Major, Vintage Taste. It really goes on. You know what I mean? And I had a company out of Portland. They were a jewelry company, and they made the whole piece and everything for me, and they brought it to me on my birthday. You know what I'm saying? It was fine. I've rocked it ever since. You know what I mean? So that's everybody know. When they see me, this long chain with a stop sign on it.
Stop playing, though.
You know what I'm saying?
So, damn. So, what all do your company promote? Like music, movies?
We promote everything.
Everything.
Anything that is worth promoting, we'll promote it. Especially if you got, I ain't gonna lie, especially if you got that check.
Hello.
But it's really sometimes a lot of the movements that I got behind it really wasn't even about a check. It was just that it was a good thing.
Yeah, because when you're just doing it the right way, a check is just gonna be attached to it.
Well, you know, I mean, I was in a little bit because it's business.
Yeah.
And if you handle a business, you know what I'm saying, you should, you know, paperwork, that's when you know that the business is real. Like when you came in with the you know what I'm saying, with the non-disclosure, you know what I'm saying, you handling your business.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know when someone wants to do business with you when paperwork is involved. Yeah. You know, it's not, oh man, can I get the hookup? You know, it is, you know, and that was a lot of the meaning behind Stop Playing. It's like when you start to do business with certain people, you know what I'm saying, they always, oh man, can I get the hookup? Yeah. But when you're doing business with certain people, they say, well, we have this check and we have this contract right here. And for, you know, we need you to, here's the game plan, and we need this, we need you to hit the streets, and we need the flyers passed out, we need you to be at this event to pass out our product, or we got this album coming out, we need the posters and stuff put up, you know. So I've had a number of, through the course of the years, of promotional contracts with a lot of companies that I've been able to work with, record labels, clothing lines, Royal Blunts, where I used to have the Royal Blunts, you know, the Blood Rap Company, Cedric Casita, Etiziano, Mesquite, a number of companies that I work with due to the fact of using my platform of DJing and being in front of hundreds of thousands of people to market and push their product to the masses.
Yeah, bro. You do a good job, you know, and I'm asking a couple of these questions. I already know the answer, but you know, I want my people to know.
They got to know. They got to know.
I don't want to take this interview now. When you be, in terms of your promotion, do you take the same approach when you promoting different products or services? Do you take the same approach, or do it differs by whatever you're promoting?
It all depends on what product it is. Sometimes if I think that something it needs to be, you know, promoted or pushed, I'll just do it just off of love. Good food places like Island Soul, or a clothing line that's coming up. I'll hit, you know, especially if they're here in the town, one of the little young cats that, you know what I'm saying, got their clothing line coming up, going out. I hit them up and like, man, how can I help? Mm-hmm. You know, and that's in general because, you know, we over here don't get a lot of things that everywhere else gets. Yeah. So, you know, with me having dealers on the East Coast and down south, you know, saying like my people's Disbelief Tequila. It's a black owned
Disbelief?
Disbelief Tequila. Mm-hmm. It's a black owned tequila company. And you know what I'm saying, I'm in X Squad DJs, and I was talking with the CEO of X Squad DJs, my man DeMille. And he put me in contact with my man Ralph and them over at Disbelief, and they made me a whole jersey and everything, and sent me out a baseball. The bottle was made in a baseball.
In a baseball?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's dope. So it's called Disbelief Tequila, and it's black owned. And when I did drink or whatnot, it's some of the smoothest tasting tequila I've ever tasted.
Word?
Yeah. So shout out to Disbelief.
Yeah, shout out to them for sure, because tequila, when you say it's made in a baseball, and I'm assuming you're talking about the structure of it, right?
Structure, yeah.
And it's all black on?
It's black on.
Shout out to them, man.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of and you know, they took it upon themselves to, you know, hey man, D-Doxx, we're gonna take care of you. You know, we put my name on the back of the jersey. They sent me 2 jerseys. They sent me a bottle and everything like that. And you know, and what I did is as much as I could in this market, you know what I'm saying, pushed it out there. But then the whole pandemic came in, so you know, it slowed down a lot. You know what I'm saying? But they're doing very well. very, very well, as in breaking into different markets, breaking into Alabama, the Alabama market, the Atlanta market, in a bunch of other markets in the South and in the East Coast and Midwest.
Shout out to them.
So yeah, man, it's like, and I mean that's what we should be doing. That's especially regardless, when you see somebody doing something, trying. You know what I'm saying? My man, Young Doe say, you know what I'm saying, he got this check the temperature clothing line. Got my man Glenn, he got your Bassett, his clothing line. I have so many of them, man. It's crazy, and I just
Shout out to them too.
I just when I'm doing an event, I put it on a rock they product to give it exposure.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure they appreciate that, because like you said, that exposure, man. Exposure is what you need to take whatever you're trying to do, your product or your service. That's what it's going to take for you to really reach the level you want to go to, is that exposure,
Most definitely.
So it's big that you do that,
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. DJing, promotion. Which one you feel like you see the most success from?
I see success in both of them. It's just how much energy you take and you equally balance to put into both. You know what I mean? You have to get the gigs as a DJ to be able to do the promotion. And from having the promotions or whatnot, it's more ammunition for you to be able to get more promotional contracts. So it's all a win-win if you do it right.
It sounds like it, the way you just broke it down like that, it sounds like it could be a win-win for sure.
So it's like, I mean, even with, being here on your show and whatnot, yeah, I could have wore, you know what I'm saying, one of the many different clothing lines that I do represent or whatnot, but today I'm representing me.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's,
that's dope too.
So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, and then, who designed this? Nephew, Jaquez, you know what I'm saying? He's a graphics designer. You know what I'm saying? So, he made this for me. So, the whole design. So it's like,
It's fire. Like I said, it's fire.
So, everybody, if you have good working relationships with people that you're working with, and you keep your word to what you're doing and what you're saying, you know what I'm saying? You're giving something to every entity of people that you work with or deal with. You know what I'm saying? That means you gotta stop playing.
Stop playing. Like a motherfucker. Man, now, I know it was a little while ago, you had a health scare,
Yeah, man.
If you can, bro, if you don't mind, let the people know, like, what was that and how did you deal with it? Because obviously, you back, you here, you feel me?
Yeah, man.
So, for somebody who may have went through it, or, you know what I'm saying, like, what was it and how you got through it, bro?
Man, I had 2 heart attacks. And passed twice, and by the blessing of God, man, I'm still here, and it must be a reason why I'm still here.
For sure.
What kept me here, and what I feel is my children. Tajani, Savon, Aaliyah, Khalid, Lila, John.
Shout out to all the kids, too.
Man, you know what I'm saying? My family, my nieces and nephews, and my children, was a real big motivator for me. Especially, you know, my little one, my la la love, you know what I'm saying, and my daughter Aaliyah. They were, you know your daughters. They have a real protection value, you know, especially over their daddy. You know what I'm saying, and they really helped me through a lot of it. You know what I mean? Checking on me, you know, my kids check Dad, Pops, what's going on, how you doing, you know, and everything else like that. And then also, man, when you have a health scare like that, stop doing the stupid shit you're doing.
Word. A lot of people don't.
I notice I see a lot of people, they have a health scare and they still go back and still keep doing the same thing they was doing, you know what I'm saying, smoking, drinking. I cut all that out, cold turkey. So, you know what I'm saying, I don't smoke, I don't drink no more. I try to eat right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a slip up. You know, everybody loves fried chicken. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have it. You know what I mean? But it's how much you consume of it. You know, make sure you're stretching, you're exercising, taking your vitamins, and you're doing what the doctors tell you to do. You know, and I mean, man, I'm still here. And and God has me here for a certain reason.
For sure.
So I mean, with that, I thank Him every day for allowing me to wake up and to being able to bless somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Through through my course of actions and what I do during my day. You know what I'm saying, man? I've and a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people worldwide, but not only just my family, but a lot of people here in the town. Man, showed me a lot of love. You know what I'm saying? Through this whole thing, so it's like. When I'm doing my thing, man, now it's like, you know, I'm doing it for the people, really, you know what I'm saying? For me, it's a blessing for me to still be here doing what I love to do. God was just probably just telling me, man, slow down. Check yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Too much. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you live that life, man. Be able to walk into a club or a bar and drink as much alcohol as you want to drink, and
I can imagine.
smoke as much weed as you know what I'm saying. You know, just doing a little bit of everything too. So, you know, your body is like an engine. It's like a car. It's only so much it can do of certain things before you wear it out. And when you wear it out, you gotta repair it, or it's gonna leave you. So if you want to keep that classic, which is yourself, you put the good things into it to preserve it.
Right.
So it can stay around longer.
Yep, 100%, bro. And like I said, bro, looking at you now, talking to you, getting in communication with you, shit, bro, you definitely you ain't missed a beat, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm a young man in an old body, but I'm still trying to move like a young man.
You're a young old nigga too.
I'm a young old dude.
That's how I be feeling, bro. You know, 'cause I got the kids. You know, bro. We listen to the same music. You know. Like, man, I'm a young old nigga too,
Yeah,
but that's just the way our generations are kind of like that, you know.
Yep.
And so, you know, once you become aware of that, I feel like, you know yourself a little more, because you know you got some old niggas that's old niggas that being old niggas but don't know how to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So I know my limitations.
Everything in moderation, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to run up and down the court with you.
Oh
I'm
man.
mistaken go half court.
Yeah.
And then say, I'm gonna pass you the ball. All right, there you go. Y'all go ahead and do all that.
Yeah.
Just stand up under the rim. Y'all run. Y'all come back. And I'll be right here. You just pass me the ball. I got that, you know what I'm saying? I can show it a little bit. Just up fake and then put it up a little bit. But
Hey.
all that I ain't gonna do all the running carry.
That's what I tell little young ones. I'll tell them we ain't gonna play no game, but we can have a 3-point shootout or a game of horse for some bread. I'll beat your ass that way. But I ain't running neither, bro.
Nah. You gonna have me on YouTube talking about, look your daddy on the floor. Somebody call the egg card.
Nah, man. Bro, shit. For the you know, last but not least, we have all my guests. You know, I asked them what was the first 5 things they did to start their business. So, for you, what was the first 5 things you did to legitimize your promotion company and you being a DJ?
Well, man, when I was
Professional DJ, excuse me.
Well, I'll go to you like this. When I say about the age of, I say around about 19, let's say about 19, 20, 21. Me and my brothers Dijon and my big brother P, we own 3 cell phone stores. And then we have one at the Midway Swap Meet on Pack Highway. We have one at the Broadway Market in Capitol Hill, and we have one on Aurora. Then as you know, just like I said, the love of music. That's man, this ain't me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I had started to. I hooked up my man C1. Hooked me up with Guy and Furl, which was probably, coming with his family. And, you know what I'm saying? And from there, Uncle Guy, man, taught me the game. Man, it just, it's to remember all this is crazy. First thing was to learn music. Learn it and love it, and know your value to what you're doing and your business. So from there, man, I just I did what I needed to do. I carried the records. I carried the amps and the speakers. I was on the mic. I was dancing. I was the hype man. I was the same. I was just like Tupac. Put it in. You know what I'm saying?
Same song in it. That type of position.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Until I was able, when I came in the record store and I told you, hey, I'm gonna be a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
And God will tell you the story to this day.
Shout out to Guy and Furl too, man.
You know what I'm saying? I told him, man, I'm gonna be a DJ, man. That's what I want to do. And then I was around Reese, we call him Mo Black. You know what I'm saying? And Razor and all those. You know what I'm saying? With the Then shout out to my man Jimmy Jam and Greg G, because when I stayed in Tacoma, they gave me, at the NCO club, they would, put me on.
Out in Tacoma?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, you know what I'm saying? I got my start in Tacoma before I got my really start in love in the town.
Okay.
So it was the NCO club. Then it was the Nubian. Then it went from Smitty and Dixie in Lakewood. Then from there, it went to always going to the DV8 or the Oz. You know what I'm saying?
Downtown.
You know what I'm saying? And then I would go up there and I would always tell Bobby, man, y'all put on some Uncle Luke. Uncle Luke can get him. You know what I'm saying? Because being from the South, that's what we listen to.
Come on, man. We was on that.
So he would start letting me get on. and I would play all the loop records.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Then from there, was running with ARS family, and then from there, man, it just took off from there, man. I DJed for Steve Harvey at the Crown Plaza when he did a show here, man.
Wow.
I DJed for so many stars and up and coming comedians, and God Will Knock on Wood. I DJed for Mac Dre before his passing. Andre Nicotina, the Loonies, Busta Rhymes when he went solo. Tommy Davidson, Lunel. And this was, all through that transitional time of, making my way up. You know what I'm saying? And just now, just going back, man, it was just that hunger, man. You know what I mean? And it was a hustle. I was everywhere. Also doing security at nightclubs. Also, so if I wasn't DJing, I was doing security. I was doing something always in the way around the field I wanted to be in, music, hip hop, clubs. So. And then learning from my man, from the rest of the DJs, my man Porter Rock, man, how much I love my brother Porter Rock, because he taught me a lot also about business savvy about being a DJ also. Between Uncle Guy and my man Porter Rock, you know what I'm saying? Porter Rock, man, he's from Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, Furl and all those guys, they taught me, you know what I'm saying? The business aspect.
How soon after learning the music, the first thing you said you had to do, how soon after that were you aware of like how to brand yourself as a DJ?
Man, I couldn't. I was a bully.
You was a bully?
Man, I was an asshole.
So it was hard to kind of like.
Well, no, it was that. To really be honest with you, man, I was so hungry and wanting to do it that maybe in my love for it, man, I pissed off a lot of people. I ain't gonna lie to you. I did a lot of 50 Cent. I'll come in the club and shove a DJ off the turntables. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, I was, you know what I'm saying? But well, for one thing, when I came in, I was humble.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But then when they started, how cats out here, they get to doing that funny.
That oil
you know what I'm saying? That funny, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And then so when I started seeing that they was hating instead of wanting to say, hey, you hungry? All right, man, let me feed you. Let me put you on. Let me see what you all about. Because when cats came to me and they told me they were hungry and they wanted to get on, I put them on.
Right.
I didn't hate. You know what I'm saying? So, but with that hunger and whatnot, man, I was able to bully my way into a lot of situations. And that's that southern, that East Coast, and side of us that we had coming from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
That damn near don't want to take a no for an answer type shit, because we so passionate about what we trying to do. Yeah.
Right. So to all the other DJs out there that man felt that I did you some, did you wrong. You know what I'm saying? My apologies, but I was hungry, man. You know what I mean? And
got you here.
And it got me to it got me where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, somewhat I regret and some I don't. You know what I'm saying? Because,
some people
to
just
be real, some of them was suckers anyway.
Yeah, some people actually deserve it.
And so, as I hear the chatter coming from other people, they're like, man, they don't want to deal with you, D-Doxx, because I say, well, they always quick to come back. If you ever notice, they're always quick to come back and say what you did, but they never say what they did to get the reaction of what.
You don't hear that too often.
So I could say what I did, and I could apologize, you know what I'm saying, because I'm a man.
Right.
But can they?
Most of the time, not, my man. For real. That's unfortunate, too. You know, you would hope people be more transparent, you know? Not necessarily the case.
Nah, man. So, for me, you know what I'm saying, I stayed in the underground, you know what I'm saying, I stayed in the community. I would be the DJ that would DJ the hood clubs and everything where everybody was acting so bougie and everything else. Oh man, but the same people that was acting so bougie, they wanted to come to the Larrys, the Mantras,
jumping.
you know what I'm saying, the Julianas, all the spots that they would say, oh, it's so ghetto, it's so hood and everything, but they be right there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they eventually come around.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they be, because, and everything else. So it's like, I stay loyal to the soil, you know what I mean? Regardless, and I can still go do the bow tie and the suit and tie events, you know what I'm saying, and everything else like that. But to me, that's, that's where the realness wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But then, as you get older, you started learning business savvy and whatnot, and you learn how to turn the ghetto on and turn the ghetto off. So, and that, got me in the doors of DJing for, Howard Schultz, the owner of Starbucks, when he had, was the owner of Starbucks, doing his son's bar mitzvah, and DJing for the mayor and the mayor of Tacoma, and, and just moving up, you know what I'm saying, doing those events that they were like, he's too ghetto to do that. It's not that I'm too ghetto, it's that, you know what I'm saying, you didn't get a chance to know me, to know what my potentials were, that I know how to do everything. So.
You said something that was key, and I want people to really hear this. Like, we're coming from the environment we coming from, the ghetto, the neighborhood, the hood, whatever you want to call it, right? When we coming from there and we trying to elevate, and take our life to a different level, you're gonna have to know when to turn that switch on and off. I mean, and I'm talking about the hood, the ghetto switch, It's like, and it's not that you're changing yourself. It's not that you're changing who you are to appease nobody else. But reality is there's a time and place for everything, right? Yeah. And you want to represent yourself the right way in those correct timings and situations, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't about changing who you are, man. It's about knowing when to turn it on and turn it off. Ain't nothing wrong with having it. Just know when to turn it on and turn it off, please.
Yeah, man. So in some ways it did affect my career in a little bit of ways, in a little bit of ways, in a lot of ways it didn't.
Right.
So, I'm still doing it.
Because what's for you is for you. Ain't nobody gonna be able to stop that. Anyway, it was for you was not. As far as the production company go, what was the initial steps you did to start that company? Like,
man, I basically just said I wanted to do it and did it.
So you wanted to do it and did it.
That's it.
You ain't playing or nothing.
I didn't even know. I just this market is a wide open market.
Okay.
This is a market that a lot of entertainers really don't get a chance to come to. I get up here because in the music game they only think that it's certain few markets: L.A., New York, Atlanta, Texas, Chicago, Detroit, Vegas. They only want to go to the hopping, markets or whatnot. But they don't understand that Washington is one of the best, biggest markets they can come to.
Bro, I be wondering, like, why.
And I just, I tell everybody that I talk, I said, Washington is the richest state in the United States of America. And they're like, no, it's not. No, yeah, it is. Every major company that the world uses is here.
Yeah. You gotta think about it. I gotta actually do my research. Yeah, bless you. But it sounds like you're accurate though. Cause
Amazon, Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Google. I mean,
Microsoft.
everything is Microsoft, Boeing.
Yeah.
Everything is here. Third state to legalize marijuana.
Yep.
One of the leading states. The reason why other states had to up their minimum wage.
Yeah, cause somebody else talking about $15 somewhere else now. Forgot where it was though, but recently.
You know what I'm saying? If you notice, you know what I'm saying, when marijuana got legal here, how many other entertainers started coming here after that?
Yeah. It's been a lot, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
It's been a lot.
There's a lot of entertainers that live here that a lot of people don't even know to live here.
Yo, I don't hear about too many.
I know.
Hey, this is what I always want to know though. Like, how do, like, as far as like when people promote parties and stuff, like, how does that process actually go to promote a party or something like that? Because I mean, obviously you're using your brand and your name to help push it too, right? But like, what is the actual step of the process you have to do to be successful?
For one thing, you gotta get a good venue, and then if your name is not tarnished in the street, you know, due to the actions of other people,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Because you know that can mess it up also. That you can have a successful club or a successful event, and because other people out there acting stupid and shooting it up and everything, put a mark on your name.
Right.
Every time he got a party, they shooting.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, what they need to understand and realize, we're not these other people's parents. We can't stop if, you know, what hood is, you know, not, you know, getting along, or who ain't getting along. Only thing we trying to do is throw an event for people to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were known to have good DJs, good people coming to your events, and the venue is just, it's a dope idea or a dope party or whatnot, it's normally a no-brainer. Just like, you know, Larry's is my go-to spot, but it's like, the reason why Larry's was so popular is because we had $2, you called it, on anything that you wanted to drink from 9 to 11.
Great marketing.
The club was packed before 11 o'clock.
For sure.
7 days a week.
Yeah, bro.
What club do you know in history for 7 days a week? Crack.
The homies used to tell me about that spot before I actually came. I did not believe it, bro. And when I actually went, I said, "This shit's ridiculous, bro."
And you had me, you had Funk Daddy, you had Rockefeller, you had, you know what I'm saying,
It was really mainly y'all three, though. I know you and Rock for sure.
yeah.
And DJ Peg.
Yeah, Peg was, Peg. I'm trying to think, it was,
Shout out all them guys, too.
yeah, it was one more, you know what I'm saying, but it was, man, but you couldn't, the catwalk, that was another one, you know what I'm saying, when it was an ARS party before the barbecue,
Mm-hmm.
the next day, packed. I've DJed at pretty much every bar and club. Pretty much.
Yeah. Legend.
that they can that's been here. So it's like, man, it's and just thinking about it, man, it's just, man, wow. Even had a right down the street from here, we had an Afri.
Yeah, free, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Right in the same cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, man, so you said you get a venue. And how, like, when you bring in artists in, like if somebody's bringing artists in, they want the artist to perform or whatever, they promoting it. How would that go? How would they handle that?
You send them that deposit, and see, you find out if the date's available, and send them that deposit. Either they want to do a walkthrough with the artist, or you want the artist to perform. And you send them the deposit to lock that date in, and hopefully that, the artist gets on that plane.
Now, to protect yourself, well, I'm assuming contracts are involved in these.
Hopefully you do contracts, yeah.
To ensure you protect yourself.
I know a lot of people that's gotten burned.
Yeah.
By a lot of superstars or artists that they've sent their money and they ain't never got on the plane. And some of it either thought they had a good friendship or good networking relationship with them, but contracts and paperwork is always the best way to go, so you can get your money back and then some.
And even then, they have to be enforced. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's tricky out here with this business, man.
It's
Even
always
though it's a
business.
contract, it has to be enforced.
Business.
So know that. Bro, well, I know you're a busy man, bro. I appreciate you coming through my platform, bro.
Anytime, brother. I know there's probably so much more we need to talk about.
Oh, man, like I tell you behind camera, bro, this ain't the first and it ain't gonna be the last, bro, for sure. Because like you said, bro, we got some stuff to talk about over the years we've known each other, bro.
I know when I sent you that bio, that they usually like, what?
Bruh, that's, because I just started my, I started my research like the day before yesterday. And I was just like, man, like, I got some stuff to work with, man. I had some stuff to research, bro, you coming to the platform, bro. Again, whenever you need to come promote something or you just, you want to come holler at me, bro, the platform is always open, bro.
Man, I appreciate it.
I'm here to support you, too, just like you came to support me. I'm here to support you,
yeah,
bro.
man, and that's what it's all about, man. Anytime, all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, bro.
You need me to come on, if I ain't busy, I'm here.
Let's do it, man. I appreciate you, bro.
And next time, if we need to shoot at my house, we can shoot at my house. You know what I'm saying?
We gonna work for sure. You feel me? That's
definitely,
definitely finna work, man. So with that being said, man, it's your boy Cleezy B, my guy DJ D-Doxx, the world famous DJ D-Doxx, Seattle legend, the Past Journey, Present Progression podcast. Give them all your social medias and stuff where they can reach you at, bro.
Man, normally I see some ignorant shit, just Google me, but I mean, for real, man. IG.
That would be the first though.
Yeah. IG, DJ D-Doxx. Let me see what. I ain't gonna give him no Facebook.
The stop playing.
Stop playing IG. Yeah, stop playing on IG. Stop playing. What is it? The world famous D on Snapchat, and SPMG 7396. I think. I don't know, man. Just go, man. Just hit me. You'll find me, man. It'll all be in the credits.
For sure. Again, man.
Yeah, it is SPMG 7396. That's Twitter. That's one of my Twitter handles. I got 4 Instagram, 4 Twitters,
Oh, you gotta kill.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah, Omega Mobile, the mobile DJ service, Stockware Promotions.
I hope you got autofill.
Yeah. I got a lot, man. I got a lot going on, man. Yeah, man. For local artists, if you want your music on the radio, I am the music director of Blazing 420 down in Birmingham, Alabama. Man, shout out to them. Next Level DJs, X Squad DJs, Sniper Squad DJs, Mixed Game DJs, man. Definitely, man. I'm a man of many hats right now, so get at me, man. Any way, shape, or form, get at me.
For sure, man. The world famous DJ D-Doxx. Cleasy B, you can find me at Journey and Progression on Instagram, CleasyB_TV on Twitter, the Past Journey Present Progression podcast on YouTube, and I'm on all digital streaming platforms, man. So this has been another episode of the Past Journey Present Progression podcast, the world famous DJ D-Doxx. Until next time, man, you know how we rocking, man. You got something you're trying to achieve, you got something you're trying to accomplish, go out there and get that shit, come back home with that shit. We gone.
My guy.
For sure, bro.
Man, real shit, bro.
Present progress. Present progress. The present progression. Present progress. Yeah. And it's the past journey to present progression. Present progress. Yeah. Present progress. And it's the past journey to present progression.